And so, hello everyone, and welcome to an adaptive chair yoga practice. And so, as always, feel privileged, honored to have the opportunity to share this practice with you. And so, it's always lovely to start a yoga practice with a centering or grounding practice. And so I'd like to invite you to begin the class today by finding a comfortable seat. Sit in the way that you feel the most at ease. It is challenging for our nervous system to calm down if we're uncomfortable in our bodies. And then when you're ready, belly soft, breath quiet. I'd like to invite you to join me in a practice called mindful movement. So as you're ready, reach your arm up to the sky. And then slowly float your arm down. A gentle movement, reaching up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. Together, let's explore adding a gentle breath to the movement. On inhale, reaching up full length of your inhale. On exhale, release your arm down the full length of your exhale. So as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Release both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs. And we'll begin the movement on the other side. As you're ready, reach your arm up, way up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. Gentle movement, reaching arm up to the sky. And slowly float your arm down. Let's explore, adding a gentle breath to the movement. On inhale, reaching up full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down the full length of your exhale. So as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Release both arms down by your side. And this time, if you'd like, reaching both arms way up to the sky. Fold your fingers in, press into the palms of your hands, and together we can shout out, I am, I can, and I will. And with a sigh of relief, release your arms down by your side. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. And take a moment, and this time we'll explore reaching both arms up to the sky. So on an inhale, reaching up full length of your inhale. Take a look between your palms if it doesn't create tension in your neck. And then return your gaze on the horizon. And this time, let's shout out together. Instead of I, let's say we. Let's shout out we. And so fold your fingers in, press into the palms of your hands. And together we can shout out, we are, we can, and we will. And with a sigh of relief, float your arms down by your side. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Your Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. And then an invitation to rest your hands on your thighs, your lap, palm face up or palm face down as desired. Maybe taking a moment to notice which feels better for you, resting your palms face up, or does it feel better to rest your palms face down? If you're tired, I'd like to invite you to explore resting your palms face up, open to receive. If you are feeling restless, scattered, palms face down can encourage grounding. And then begin to gently turn your gaze downward. Or maybe closing your eyes comfortably or gently if that feels comfortable for you. Moving away from the busyness in our minds and more towards our heart. Allow your facial muscles to soften and release. Our breath is calm. Relax your jaw. So drop your jaw. Your jaw. And so our shoulders are relaxed. Relax your elbows. Relax your wrists. Relax your hands, your fingers. Allow your throat to soften. Relax your upper back, mid back, and lower back. Relax your legs. And from here, we'll transition into a practice called breath awareness. Without changing anything, bring a gentle awareness to your breath. You're noticing that as we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. Notice, is your breath long? Is it smooth? Or is your breath jagged? From here, let's explore together a simple breathing exercise that research shows can help with pain management and anxiety. And so an invitation to place your hands at your Buddha belly, so your low belly. Or it might feel comfortable for you to rest one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And so I'm going to choose to place my hands on my Buddha belly today because I have a microphone right about where my heart center would be. And so an invitation to begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Then see if you can begin to smooth out your breath. So that your inhales and exhales are about the same duration and quality. At any point, if you notice your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, no big deal. That's the nature of our mind. Simply bring your awareness back to your breath. And now I'd like to invite you to see if you can add a quality of softness to your breath. So you might imagine that you just tasted something delicious. Or it might be that you're spending time with your favorite four-legged friend. And see if you can bring some of that same softness to areas of your body that you feel are too tight or knotted. Our breath is long and smooth and soft as we breathe in and as we breathe out. And just for a few more breaths, or as long as feels comfortable, I'd like to invite you to keep this simple and profound breathing exercise flowing. At any point, if you notice your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, as often it will, an invitation to bring a gentle awareness to the sounds around you. So I can hear the sounds of my husband outside our cabin doing his lovely work. Putting up a tent because it's snowing gently, flurries. I can hear the ticking of the old clock in my living room. And maybe noticing the gentle tone of my voice, and in a loving way, bring your awareness back to your breath. Our old friend, our breath. And wherever you are in your breath cycle, allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Your natural rhythm. Maybe observing the rise and fall through your chest and your belly. Drop your chin towards your chest. Gradually blink your eyes open. Falling awake, not asleep. Falling awake, not asleep. Notice if you felt a subtle shift in your energy. And we've begun the process of tuning into our bodies and connecting with our breath. The bridge between our body and our mind, our breath. Release your arms down by your sides, spiral your palms open, and then wiggly fidget. Shake your hands vigorously. And so a gentle reminder that if anything I share with you today, if even the most gentle movement causes discomfort, if it creates pain, I'd like to give you a few suggestions. One would be that an invitation to perhaps visualize the movement. So feel as though you are doing the movement. And that can be a lovely starting point. So visualization, imagination is powerful. And the other alternative might be that paying attention to our breath. So our breath is one of our main teachers. So if your breath gets short, jagged, sometimes when we're working really hard, we tend to hold on to our breath. So that's our breath letting us know that we're into the pose too deep or moving too quickly. And an invitation to maybe back off a little bit. Notice how that feels. Or maybe come out of the pose or the movement altogether. And then see if you'd like to come back into it a little more gently or slowly. And so yoga is a practice. And so one day at a time. So at this time, I'd like to invite you to walk your hips forward in the chair. Come forward about 2/3 of the way. Or it might be that you feel comfortable, being stable, sitting with support behind your back. Or with your, some of you I know are set up really well in your chairs, so I'm not too concerned. So yoga meets us exactly where we are. And so let's repose. So ground through your feet. Center and ground through the soles of your feet. We want to keep our connection with Mother Nature. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. So maybe notice where your bottom is in contact, your bottom and your thighs are in contact with your seat. And then energy moving in two directions. Lengthen from the tip of your tailbone all the way up through to the crown of your head. Our Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. So feel free. It might be helpful to place 2 fingers on your chin. Maybe imagine a turtle. And then as you're ready from here, if you'd like, and it's available to you, let's begin with simple neck rolls. See if you can resist the urge or the temptation to move your head to its full range of motion. And then move in the other direction. And see if you can create a little half smile, like a little Buddha smile. So when we smile, it releases saliva. And so we want a nice juicy mouth and juicy body. So we all know what it's like to go to the dentist. Dry mouth. And then when you're ready, move your head up and down as if nodding yes. And then from side to side as if nodding no. And let's meet back at center. And take a moment, and then from here, I'd like to invite you to drop your ear towards your shoulder. Notice how that feels. And it might feel okay to release your opposite arm down by your side, extend beyond your wrists, your fingertips. And then we'll meet back at center. Other side, drop your ear towards your shoulder. This might be your Next stretch today, we might feel comfortable to release your arm by your side, extending beyond your wrist to your fingertips. And then we'll meet back at center. And so as you're ready, on inhale, reach your arm up. So let's explore in line with our shoulder, if that's available to you. Maybe a little lower, feels a little more comfortable. So you choose, this is your yoga practice. And then as you're ready, maybe noticing, does it feel better to have your palm face up or palm face down? So an invitation to explore spiraling your palm open. And then on exhale, extend your arm away from you. On inhale, meeting back at center. Palm face down, release. So explore the movement on the other side. Float your arm up on inhale. Spiral your palm open. On exhale, extend your arm away from you. And let's meet back at center. Palm face down, release. If my cueing with the breathing, so we're adding breath to our movements, which makes it mindful. However, if my cueing doesn't work for you, move in your own time and rhythm. And so adding the breath piece or not. And so as you're ready, and this time we're going to explore same movement to begin with, but turning your neck as well to the side on the exhale, or keeping it straight ahead, up to you. If you're keeping it straight ahead, I'd like to invite you to turn your gaze downward a little bit, and that can be balancing for our nervous system. So both hands resting on our lap. Buddha belly soft, breath is quiet. On inhale, reach your arm up, spiral your palm open. Gazing past your middle finger, extend your arm away from you, adding the turning our head if you like. On inhale, let's meet back at center. Palm face down, release. So begin again, fin again, reaching up the other side. Spiral your palm open, moving with grace and ease, extend your arm away from you. On inhale, we'll meet back at center, palm face down, release. Let's practice the movement one more time on each side. On inhale, reaching up, spiral your palm open. On exhale, extend your arm away from you. Breathing in, we'll meet back at center, palm face down, release. On inhale, reaching up, spiral your palm open. Breathing out, extend your arm away from you. Breathing in, we'll meet back at center. Release both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. And take a moment to notice, how's your breath? Maybe noticing any subtle sensations. And trust that the sensations are there. It's not going to be a rocket ship. The sound of and then releasing our arms by our sides, spiral your palms open, open up your armpits and wiggly fidget. So shake your hands vigorously, wiggly fidgets. You even do a little bump dance. So we all have our own sense of rhythm. And so let's repose. So it might be that you can shift to the side a little bit, pull the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. Your feet are placed evenly on your footrests or on the floor. Sits bones are sharp on the chair. So our front body is soft, spine is long. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And from here, I'll transition into shoulder circles. So an invitation to roll your shoulders up, forward, down, and back. Really relaxing your arms by your side if you'd like. Soft, organic movements, nothing rigid. So it's not a big scrunch up towards our ears. That would be contraindicated at the moment. And then reverse the direction. So forward, up, back, and down. And so from here, let's begin to move our arms in ways that we don't typically move. And so a gentle reminder that pets and children are welcome in the class. And of course, we're practicing at home. And so begin to move your arms. I think I stated, I invited you to already, in ways you don't typically move. And so stretch into the stretch. Get bigger in space. We tend to shrink. And so we're getting into the deeper tissue in our body now, the fascia, connective tissue. And so these movements can be interesting if we close our eyes softly as we're practicing. And of course, moving in your own rhythm. And I'm here if you need a visual, always. And then an invitation to reaching up to the light. Okay, so sunlight. And then bring a gentle awareness to wherever your body is talking to you. And pause there. And breathe into that area. And so wherever breath goes, circulation goes. And then moving on to maybe an area of your body where it feels like there's not so much going on. So all the more reason to breathe into that area. Sending our life force, our breath to those areas. And then lastly, finish up wherever your body is still talking to you. And then come back to stillness. Release your arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs. And take a moment to notice any subtle sensations. How's your breath? And so moving on, I'd like to invite you to bring your hands in front of you, palms face up, and then take your hands to your shoulders or wherever you can reach comfortably, and then stretch your palms. Hands to our shoulders, stretch your palms. And then maybe alternating from side to side. So alternating can be good for our brain health, particularly our memory. Release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, And then take your hands up to your shoulders, again, or wherever you can reach comfortably. And then let's imagine that we're drawing circles on the screen in front of us. So most of us are online. Drawing circles with your elbow points. And then reverse the direction. Remember your little Buddha smile. So smile whether you're happy or not. And then slowly release. Float your arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. And notice, how's your breath? Notice any subtle sensations. And so moving on, let's do some great movements, awesome movements for our hands. And so I'm of the mind that our hands are connected not only to our heart, but to our mind as well. And so most of us use our hands more than our feet. And so let's begin with stretching our palms. And so you can imagine starfish if you'd like, and then make soft fists. Stretch your palms, soft fists. So our Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. And then maybe exploring wrist circles. So move in one direction and then the other. Maybe noticing, do you feel this movement more in one wrist than the other? So as human beings, we tend to be tighter on one side. And then when you're ready, imagine that you're playing piano. So we're getting the synovial fluid, Mother Nature's WD-40, going into all the little joints in our hand, into our fingers. Interlace your fingers loosely, and then again, wrist circles, moving in one direction and then the other. Release your hands and then reach your arms up to the sky. So it might be that it feels okay for you to have your arms up closer to your ears, maybe goalposts, maybe forward a little. So again, you choose, this is your yoga practice. So whatever your pose is today, I'm going to place mine up closer to my ears. Fold your fingers in. Press into the palms of your hands. There's a sensitive point there. And together we can shout out, we are, we can, and we will. And with a sigh of relief, release your arms down by your side. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. And take a moment, let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. Your natural rhythm, maybe observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And so let's repose. And so ground through your feet. Center and ground through the soles of your feet. Root down through your sits bones. Our spine is long, front body is soft. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly. And from here, an invitation to place your hands at your heart center, maybe on your Buddha belly. And so notice how it feels to have your hands in this placement. So if this makes you lose your balance in any way, choose another placement for your hands. And so we never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. And so we'll transition into a practice called sun breath. On inhale, extend your arms away from you. And then bring your hands back together, either at your heart center or your Buddha belly. Inhale, extend your arms away. Exhale, bring your hands back together at your heart center or Buddha belly. And exploring turning your gaze down. Inhale. And so if you'd like, imagine the sun at your heart center. And on your inhales, as you extend your arms up and away, imagine the radiant light of the sun. So the radiant light of the sun radiating out all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside. As a symbol of the light that's always inside us. Inhale, and then if you'd like, join me in making a sound. So the sound is like a bee, a bumblebee. And so humming. Inhale. Inhale. Rest one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And take a moment to feel the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. Drop your chin towards your chest. Gently blink your eyes open. Release your arms down by your side. Spiral your palms open. Open up your armpits and wiggly fists. So shake your hands vigorously. And so from here, I'd like to share a practice with you called Finding Our Balance. The best definition of balance that I've heard to date would be the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. The equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. So exploring that together. Make sure that your feet are placed firmly on the earth, on the ground, or on your footrest. Sits bones are sharp on the chair. Front body is soft, spine is long. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. And then tucking our chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. Hinging from the hips, rock forward. So gentle movement coming forward. So not about seeing how far we can go. We just come to that just right amount of effort and ease. So it might be that it feels good to walk your feet forward a little bit if that's available to you. And then rock back up. So gentle movement, rocking forward. And rocking back up. You might notice that sometimes we come into a forward fold, our chin wants to jut forward. If your chin's jutting forward, tuck it in slightly. Notice how that feels. And then rocking back up. In your own time and rhythm, just for a few more breaths, or as long as feels comfortable, I'd like to invite you to keep this gentle movement flowing. Finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. Rest your hands on your lap and take a moment to notice how this feels. It is not about what we look like in our yoga practice. The diagnostic tool is, how do I feel? And then moving on, let's begin to sway from side to side. So maybe adding a gentle breath to the movement. So our breath is long and smooth and soft as we breathe in and as we breathe out. We've been exploring releasing our arms down by our side, if that feels comfortable to you. Extending beyond your wrists to your fingertips. And slowly make your way back to a neutral spine. Rest your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. And take a moment, notice how this feels. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, take a nice inhale through your nose unless you're congested. And on your exhale, I'd like to invite you to imagine or see if you can draw your sits bones towards each other. And release. Did you notice a subtle shift? So you might have felt a lift in your chest. And so it might be so subtle that it's only apparent to you. And so now I'd like to invite you to come into a gentle twist. And so let's rest our hands resting on our lap. Alternate drawing your hands in towards your hip creases. So of course, keeping our head and neck in line with our spine. We know that our spine matters. And so warming up this gentle massage for your spine. And if you'd like to challenge yourself a little more, you could add arms bended, elbows bent low in front of you, looking straight ahead. Continuing with the twist. So soften your gaze. So maybe looking down towards the floor a little can help focus our mind. And then if you'd like to challenge yourself a little more, you bend your elbows, fingers pointing up towards the sky, moving with your breath. Inhale to one side, exhale to the other. I like to add a breath to this particular movement that I can hear. I'm going to inhale and exhale through my nose. It might be something you'd like to explore or not, up to you. Slowly come back to a neutral spine. Release your arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs. For me, I keep wanting to say lap or thighs, and makes me stutter a little bit. So on your thighs. And notice how that movement has made you feel. And so let's continue with a seated forward fold. And so the side bends and twists can be pretty intense spinal movements. And so we need to realign our spine. And so we can do that with a lovely seated forward fold. And so one of the things that I like to do is place a rolled something. It can be a blanket, might be a pillow tucked right up against your low belly. So, and of course, if your balance is challenging for you, a lap belt, of course, is useful, helpful. And so a gentle reminder as well that if you have osteoporosis, fractures, propensity towards forward bends are contraindicated, in which case I'd like to invite you to visualize the movement rather than folding forward. And so imagination is powerful. And so lastly, maybe toe heel out to the side a little bit to make room for our Buddha belly or low belly, if that's possible. And maybe even taking the time to take a look at your knees in line in relation to your ankles. So you can place your knees in line with your ankles. And it's okay to have your toes turned out a little. And so I know that that's a lot of information. So one day at a time. Classes are ongoing, so I hope to see you again. So let's take hold of the sides of the chair for stability. So for me, I'm going to place the blanket aside. And then hinging from the hips, rock forward. So we're actually coming forward with a flat back. Maybe walking your toes forward a little bit, that's helpful, your feet. And then let your head hang slightly to release the back of your neck. And then breathe into your lower back. Notice how you feel in the forward fold. And so forward bends can be calming for our nervous system. And so this might be your forward fold today, or you might feel comfortable with resting your forearms on your lap. When ready, come out of the pose by pressing down through your inner heels. So it might be an energetic pressing down. Lift from your chest, placing one hand on each of your thigh. And come on back up. In preparation for a short guided meditation and your final relaxation. So come seated comfortably back in your chair. And so make sure that you're warm enough. So some of the things that I like to have in a yoga class that I think can be helpful for most is a nice warm blanket. And so you might have a pillow, warm blanket that you can place on your lap. And so this encourages grounding. I've heard that the blanket on our lap can help with fatigue if you sit a lot. And the other the other addition to this might be to place something along your spine. And so I have my yoga mat here today. And so it's rolled up and placed on the back of the chair so that it sits along our spine, can be supportive. And so it helps with that kind of contractions that we do in our day. And lastly, I brought a yoga block. And so if you tend to rotate inwards, knees, hips, placing a block between our inner thigh can be helpful. And if you happen to have a yoga strap, any kind of, could be a necktie, whatever you have, to keep it in place, that can be helpful. And so my yoga toys, my yoga toy box. And so sitting comfortably, effortlessly upright. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. You can close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. And so an invitation to place your hands in a hand gesture that can help focus our mind. So today I'd like to invite you to explore bringing your fingertips together so that they're touching your thumb. And then maybe notice which hand that feels the most comfortable with. Keep that hand with your, whichever is dominant, the thumbs touch, or fingertips touching your thumb, your other hand palm face down. And drawing your hands in towards your hip creases. And so the meditation today is actually a little piece of writing from a book called The Book of Qualities by J. Ruth Gendler. And the title of this little piece of writing is called Compassion. Compassion wears Saturn's rings on the fingers of her left hand. She is intimate with the life force. She understands the meaning of sacrifice. She is not afraid to die. There is nothing you cannot tell her. Compassion speaks with a slight accent. She was a vulnerable child, miserable in school, cold, shy, alert to the pain in the eyes of her student. For me, I don't have my glasses on. Of the eyes of her sturdier classmates. The other kids teased her about being too sentimental. And for a long time, she believed them. In 9th grade, she was befriended by Courage. Courage lent compassion bright sweaters, explained the slang, showed her how to play volleyball, taught her you can love people and not care about what they think about you. In many ways, compassion is still the stranger, neither wonderful nor terrible, herself, utterly always. come into whatever seated position you'd like for your final relaxation. If you have a chair that you're able to recline in, go for it. I'm actually, I think I'll leave the lighting where it is, probably less distracting than trying to fix it a little bit. Make sure that you have what you need to stay warm. Close your eyes gently. If that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. The soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. The soft palms, quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, say let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. It's challenging to quiet the mind. Sometimes placing our hands on our Buddha belly and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. Without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body. Thank your body again. Our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. Now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet waking up. If you'd like, rub the tips of your fingers with your thumbs. And come back seated comfortably to finish up your yoga practice. And it's an invitation to begin to move slowly, so gently that if I was to be able to see you, I might not even notice that you're moving. Come back to stillness. Bringing our hands together at our heart center, maybe our Buddha belly. So take a moment to honor yourself and each other out there, even though we can't see each other. I'm sure we're connected. So take this moment to honor yourself and each other for showing up for yoga practice today. Bring the intention that you said at the beginning of the class back to mind, and then let it go. The teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. Thank you. And I hope you have a lovely day. And questions or feedback, always love to hear from you. So I will hang out for a little while. And of course, thank you shout out to the Disability Foundation, ConnecTra, Adam, my tech host, and all forces seen and unseen for making it possible to have this lovely practice of yoga today. So India's gift to the West, yoga.